Hey, welcome to the Integrate This EdTech podcast. I'm David Berner, and I am joined by Dr. Rachelle Dene Poth, author, AI strategist, speaker, attorney, and podcaster as well. So we're very happy to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here with you as well.
So can you tell us a little bit about the sessions that you've done first?
Yeah, I've had a busy schedule. Sunday I came in, I did a 5-hour pre-conference workshop. It was balancing humanity and innovation in STEAM learning. So a mixed group, which was awesome. We had educators, paraprofessionals, people that are in administrative roles, and so trying to plan out for it was a little bit interesting because to see what would be beneficial to them. But I had modules. I had like AI, I did augmented virtual reality, I had coding, I had drones, and then the last hour was station exploration. So I had some friends bring in the different robots and drones, and we had like stations set up, and I had 80s music playing in the background, and it was just really a great experience. And so that was the first one to kick it off. And then on Monday, I have to think back now. Monday, I was part of a AI and EdTech Super Share panel with a group, and it was like rapid pace. We've done it, I think, for the last 3 ISTE conferences. I had my own session, a couple booth sessions that I did, and I like doing those as well because it's fun to get out there in the expo hall and do some demos and meet some people and see some friends. And then yesterday I did a discovery stage with Jamie Donnelly, all about augmented virtual reality and AI, of course. And then in the afternoon, I set up a panel discussion at the learning stage, and I was the moderator, but I was joined by Nancy Blair Black, Dr. Sheldon Akins, and Michael Hernandez. And so I made up the questions. I put little icons on the screen, and to signify who was answering it, but I didn't really tell all of them what their symbol was. So that was really well done too. It was a great conversation. And then today, I have a couple booth presentations, and then my last session of the day is AI and the Law from 1:30 till 3 in room 110B, which nice, it rhymes really well. So pretty packed schedule, but it's been great to see everybody, and it's just like, I always say, like, learning is everywhere, and it's such I would never miss ISTE. The conference is great.
Yeah, and can we talk a little bit too about the session you have coming up, the AI and Law session? Can you give us a little bit more insight on that session?
Yeah,
what people expect during that?
Well, it's a session that, I've been doing AI sessions, just general AI sessions for like 8 years. But in the last 3 years, I started to realize there's bigger issues that are out there. So in that session, we talk about like what are the concerns with AI in education, talking about bias, ethical considerations, how to stay safe online. We look at some different platforms that are in compliance, and it helps people know what to look for when they're vetting tools. I have some scenarios about like what would you do if that's built in. So it's not just me talking the whole time. It's meant to be interactive and engaging, kind of thought-provoking. I tell stories a lot about things that people have done. So there's some of like the don'ts, the do's and the don'ts that come into it. But it's a 90-minute session, and I've done it as a 7.5-hour workshop. I've also done it and that was a virtual one. I've also done it as a 6-hour, but it's probably, I love doing all the sessions, but that's probably become my most favorite session to do just because of all of the scenarios and everything that you can do within it. So, and it gets people talking, really thinking about it at a higher level.
Yeah, and that's like an angle that I don't see very often, like where it's like specifically focused on the law and the things that they should be aware of and ethical concerns and all that type of thing. Yeah. As far as ISTE goes, how many years have you been coming to ISTE? Which now has a new name.
I know, it's International Society for Transforming Education.
Yes.
And the first time I went was in 2015. I became a member in 2014 when I was getting my master's degree, and I think that it was in Atlanta that year potentially, and I had heard about it and I thought about going, but I didn't. But it was in Philly, across the state where I live. So I went there, took the train out, and it was just like, wow, when I walked in, when you got to see and meet people that you had met online and known on Twitter or LinkedIn or wherever, and just so many opportunities for learning everywhere. A little bit stressful at first because you're trying to plan your schedule, but what I've been telling people is like, don't worry about it, plan it out, because if you're planning to get to that session, you might run into friends along the way and you're not actually going to get there, but you're going to have conversations and that's still learning. So I've come to every single one except when they have them virtually. So yeah, maybe 10 now, I think.
Okay.
But they come around so quickly because some of the people that work here, the other day I walked by and I waved to somebody. I went, I feel like I just did that in San Antonio. It was like I had so many deja vus that day. It's like, where did the time go? So
yeah. As far as you mentioned, like people that you meet while you're here, is there anybody that you're like super happy to meet or have met that you only knew online?
Well, yeah, and the panel yesterday, Dr. Sheldon Akins, we had connected. I had him on my podcast before. Actually, I had him probably 6 years ago. We did a talk. I was doing these video series, and I had him as a guest on that, and I kind of had forgotten about that. But then I had him on the podcast and had him join as a panel on the panel yesterday, and we had not met in person, just interacted on Facebook and had conversations over the years, and so it was great to actually finally meet him in person. So that's the first one that comes to mind.
Okay. What do you this is a tough question. What do you wish somebody told you before your first ISTE?
Oh, the advice that I give now. Like,
okay.
Don't worry so much about like planning the perfect schedule and everything. Like, look at the program. Think about things that you might want to learn. Mark some of those down, but also make time for social events. And don't be afraid to go and like sit down next to somebody and get in a conversation. And you're going to be tired, but don't go back and sleep. Keep going, because you can. I always say, I'm going to sleep in August. It's okay, but just making sure that you get out there and don't stress too much about like, I didn't make this schedule or I didn't get to this session. It's fine. You're still going to walk away with a lot.
Yeah, you won't make everything, right?
No. Although, you know what, I try. When I put it on my schedule, I'm going to do it, but I get close, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'm notorious for starring so many things, but not making
I know.
so many.
I get the calendar conflict. I'm like, I'm going to make a like last minute game day decision on that one.
Yep, absolutely. So as far as what you have going on right now, can you preview for us a little bit of like things that you have coming up? Or so we're at ISTE now, but afterwards, what kind of things are you working on?
Well, in July, I have a few conferences I'll be going to Texas for a Tech Connect conference that's at a school district. And then the week after, I'll be going back to Lexington, Kentucky for their KEDC AI Summit, which is the second year. Last year, I was honored to be the opening keynote. I had some sessions, and I moderated a panel there as well. So I don't know, I really like moderating panels now. I think that and booth demos, it's kind of fun to, I mean, there's a lot of planning that goes into it, but so I have that. And then in August, I'll be going to Hancock in Missouri, a school district, for a 2-day event and doing a keynote and some sessions there as well. So we'll see what happens in the fall. There's some conferences and things, but always looking for more opportunities to do something, or maybe do some writing, or like I said, maybe sleep in August. No, okay.
Yeah.
You have to keep going, and you have to keep learning. So. Yeah,
and you do have some books, many books as well. Do you have anything new coming out, or are you?
Yes. In the process, I am working on the second edition of my How to Teach AI book. I had started another book, and then of course, other things come up along the way. I'm like, that's okay. But I have an idea for what might be a kind of interesting book concept, but I'm not going to say what it is about, but we'll see how that goes. But other than that, I'm constantly like writing blogs, articles and things, newsletters, you name it. So just trying to be consistent with all of that.
Okay, great. One last question for you.
Okay.
Is there anybody that we haven't had on the podcast that you think we should?
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure if you have or hadn't had them on air, but I would say Ken Shelton.
Okay. Yeah, Ken's been on.
So
okay. We beat you to it.
He's definitely one of my go-tos. I have to think now, because I was just with him 2 weeks ago in Alabama, and he was the keynote. So that was like my number one. Well, not my number one. I have a lot of other ones. How about? Oh, this is hard, because I didn't think he was on there. Jamie Donnelly.
No, haven't.
There you go.
Okay. Thanks.
And you should ask her really tough questions because of what she puts me through sometimes when we're together.
Okay.
No, but she would be great. She's amazing with augmented virtual reality, so go for Jamie Donnelly.
That would be great. Awesome. Well, make sure you follow Rachelle on all the socials, the website.
Yeah, I'm very consistent with the R, the DENE915, because it's my first initial, my middle name, and my birthday, because it goes back to the AOL days when you created an account. So if you just put the www and then .com after it, or send me an email, put the Gmail, or just search that, you'll find me.
All right, great. Well, make sure you follow, and then also follow the Integrate This podcast on all the podcast platforms and YouTube as well. Rachelle, thanks.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.